Yes, that is right. It's Eloy, the one, the only, none other than UK finest, Ricky J. Give me 1 second here, just 1 second, guys. But yes, it is indeed Ricky J, the UK finest, bringing you the hardest hitting takes, bold predictions, and straight up banter from across the pond. Welcome to where the bell never stops ringing. Welcome to the People's Wrestling Podcast. So do go ahead right now, share, like, subscribe, all of that. Get me to the next milestone of 380. I'm just one away. That is right, one away from 380 subscribers. So do me a big favor and get me there. Like, share, subscribe. This is going to be a fairly laid back, chilled episode. It should be a fairly short one as well. I'm still on the hunt for a co-host. So if you want that to be you, let me know. Get yourself in the comments. Like right now or later on, if you wanted to be part of a wrestling podcast, be a co-host, well, now is your chance. Go ahead and let me know as we get into the very first segment here, which of course is what's cooking at the table. So what have I been up to since last week? Going to the gym, keeping fit. The craft class that I go to every single week. I said new for 2026 is making half and half pay-per-view posters or event posters, and indeed made one for Saturday night's main event. So go ahead and let me know what you think about that. I'm pretty impressed with it myself, but you let me know, you guys, what you think of it. I've continued with my walking group. Continued with my games club that I'm going to, and I'm doing quite well, fairly well in learning Spanish. I'm actually up to day 11 of learning Spanish. I'm actually picking it up quite a bit. Does take a little bit for me to learn. And I do love Duolingo. I do love that they give you a reminder of certain words now and again, so they're not really letting you forget anything. Refreshing your memory. So yeah, it's a cool app. So my sincere apologies for that. Really don't know what happened there. I was in the middle of telling you guys what I've been up to and it cut off for some reason. So yes, the gym, crafts, walking group, games club, learning Spanish, and also I'm up to halfway through episode 4 of WWE Unreal. So you let me know, guys, what you think about WWE. Have you enjoyed this episode, this season? So far this season, it has been good. But I feel that there's nothing like, oh wow, I didn't know that. You know, this season has been okay. So I just checked something here, guys. Go ahead and let me know what you guys have been up to. I want to hear from you. What plans have you got coming up? I've got more of the same. Will be buying my final picture and autograph for Love of Wrestling, happening next month. In 1 second here, just checking on something. Just checking on something. Sorry about this. Should have done this earlier, guys. Just getting a little bit sidetracked. My apologies. But do indeed go ahead, let me know what you've been up to, what you've got coming up. Like I said, I've got more of the same coming up, and we'll be buying my final autograph and picture for Love of Wrestling. Once again, my apologies for technical difficulties. I did mention what I've been watching, so that leads me nicely onto segment number 2 here, which of course is the thing that gets Hollywood talking. The actors, actresses are all chatting, and they're chatting about one thing, and one thing only, and that is that is right, movie talk. So what 2 movies have I been watching? Again, another hectic week, and I was meant to watch a 3rd movie, but the app that I watch movies on decided to kind of fail on me. So I'm going to have to find another link to watch movies on. So what the 2 movies I have watched, and they are Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, long film but good. I'm going to give it a rating of B. The second movie I've watched is 28 years later, The Bone Temple, another good film. And I would also give this a B. So those are the 2 movies I have watched. Do have my eye on other movies. Let me just take, I'm just deleting that. Do have my eye on other movies. And I was in the midst of watching the latest Avatar movie, so I'm kind of 2/3 of the way through that, so not quite finished it off. But I was kind of in the midst of watching that. Now there are no news and headlines. There is no This Week in Wrestling History. So let's go to a time of celebration, jubilation, a time of cakes, and cheer. And we do that with that is right. Wrestler's birthday. So whose birthday is it today, January 23rd, 2026? We have no, just double check these are correct. Let me give me 1 second to do this. Is me looking live. Again, I should be very, very prepared. Just me kind of looking on the spot. Me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. One second, me another second. One more second, and we're almost there, we're almost done. One more second, bear with. Let me know if it's your birthday today, of course, as I'm doing this, and let me know, have you got birthdays coming up? One more second, and we're there. We'll be there in 1 more second. So, today's birthdays are UK's own Mark Andrews, Lalani Kai, also UK's own Nigel McGuinness, and it would have been Giant Babbers and Dominic Danuki. So those would have been the birthdays today. So happy birthday to them, whether they're alive or up there in heaven. Happy birthday to all of those 5. So I'm going to play a quick ad here, and then I'm going to get into some wrestling chatter, do some predictions, and then I'm out of here. Going to hit the gym, and I'll see you guys later on. My SmackDown watch along, so make sure to tune into that. And then tomorrow, my Saturday night main event watch along, preview and watch along. But before any of that, do allow me to play this. And that is right, for not 1, not 2, but 3 shout outs. One of those also inducts you into the People's Wrestling Channel Hall of Fame. I'm going to be discussing that in the near future, WWE's Hall of Fame. But forget about that one. I can induct you to the People's Wrestling Channel Hall of Fame. You purchase a t-shirt, let me know. Many birthdays, many big days, many celebrations coming up. So let's turn our attention to the wrestling world with that is right, wrestling roundup. Do you let me put that back on? I do need to come out somehow, some way, set it that this is on throughout. But let's take a look at, as I said, the wrestling world and what's been going on. Nothing of note really on this week's Dynamite. So there we are. So in last week's SmackDown saw, and I'm going to take this in 2 segments, 2 matches, 2 segments, whatever, and then give my thought. Say what happened and then give my thoughts. So, Drew McIntyre came on out, then Randy Orton did, then Randy Orton went on to beat The Miz. You then had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair defeat Julia and Kiana James. Nia Jackson, Lash Legend attacked. So, cool way to kick off SmackDown. Great seeing Drew McIntyre with the championship. I think the title fits on him. He does look really, really good with it. Randy Orton beating The Miz, no shocker there. And Alexa and Charlotte beating Julia and Kiana. I guess I don't understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Julia and Kiana in there with 2 big-time players, 2 big names. So yeah, I understand what they're trying to do there. Out came Cody Rhodes. Okay. Trick Williams whooped Matt Cardona. Then Kit Wilson attacked Matt. Jacob Fatu attacked Kit. Call out Cody. Brawl. We also had Damian Priest get the 1, get the 2, get the 3 on Soldier Sequoia. So Cody Rhodes promo, boring. The fans actually turned on it. He kind of got them back into it, but the fans turned on him in this. Mio is saying he's going to be in the Rumble, and also Jacob Fatu, watch out. Trick Williams over Matt Cardona. Really, neither guy should be losing here, but it is what it is. Kit Wilson, Jacob Fatu, Cody thing, okay. Well, Kit Wilson is super over. And Damian Priest knocking off Solo Sikoa. Yeah, cool. I don't think this is damaged or halted Solo, so there we are. Carmelo Hayes retained against UK's own Leon Slater. Jordan Grace got her hand raised high against Chelsea Green. So great to see the X Division champion on WWE TV. And not only that, but like I say, UK's own Leon Slater in action. So great to see that. And he put on a good match against Carmelo, almost snatched the title away from him. Jordan over Chelsea Green. Okay. And then in your main event of the show, Sami Zayn scored the dub against Ilya Dragunov. Then Trick attacked, and now you've got at Saturday night's main event, which I will be predicting. Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu, and Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest. Cool. Yeah, a cool win for Sami Zayn here. I'm going to give SmackDown, if you weren't watching my SmackDown watch along, where were you? I'm going to give SmackDown a almost thumbs up. It wasn't a thumbs up, it was round about there. But I almost forgot that I almost forgot an event, and that event was TNA Genesis. It almost slipped my mind. So I'm going to go through that now. So on the countdown 0 hour pre-show, I'm just going to go through those 2 matches first. So Johnny Stacks Lorenzo retained against Eric Young, BD, and KG Orso. Tessa Blanchard and Mila Moore were your winners against Victoria Crawford, as we know, against India Hartwell and Vicky Vicious Veneto. It's my first time seeing KG Orso. Yeah, he did impress me. And Stack certainly knows how to get heat. My first look at Mila Moore and Vicious Vicky. This was an okay match. On the actual main show, AJ Francis stood tall against Rich Swann, and Mustafa Ali exact same against Elijah. Yeah, a nice way. The feeling I have with TNA is it takes a little bit to get going. It's kind of more the second half of the show that is better. the first half is it feels like a warm prelude to what's coming. But AJ beating Rich Swann, cool, really nothing much else to add there. Mustafa Ali over Elijah, same. Eddie Edwards in JCD's Fandango's final match, retirement match, did actually go over JDC. In an intergender match, Ryan Nemeth claimed victory against Mara Sade. So JDC, of course, doing the job. JDC or Fandango, Johnny Curtis, Dirty Dango, call him what you like, running up into the sunset. Cool. And the video package kind of made him, JDC, feel like a big deal than he is, but whatever. Ryan Nemeth over Mara Sade. This was quite clunky, if you ask me. I don't think they had that in-ring chemistry. And I was going to leave it as that. But I will hand it to TNA that they aren't afraid to do intergender matches, whereas WWE dead against it, it seems. Lei Yingli is still your TNA Knockouts Women's World Champion, as well as the Hardys are still your TNA World Tag Team Champions. Good match put on by Zarya and Lei Yingli. But Lei Yingli kind of only just won that title, so Zarya was never going to win. And the Hardys versus the Righteous was okay. Actually, first time I know of the Righteous, I've heard of the Righteous, but my very first time I've seen them in actions of Vincent and Dutch. Yeah, it was a decent tag team match. Within a triple threat three-way dance action, as Joe says his name and he appears, Joe Hendry put away Cedric Alexander and Moose. Moose actually looked like he picked up an injury here. This was a good triple threat and good Steve Joe Hendry back on TNA. I think he's now on a future X Division title shot, so cool. Continues that relationship between TNA and WWE. And then in a Texas death match where special guest referee Nick Nemeth, the TNA World Championship, walking out still champion Mike Santana. No shocker there. He only just won it on TNA Impact's debut to TV on AMC. Just reading a message there. That message didn't come from number 619 or 316, but it was certainly the people's message. So, yeah, Mike Santana retaining, no shocker there. He only just won the title. So yeah, TNA Genesis in the books was a good, decent show. I'm going to give it also a almost a thumbs up. But a good way for TNA to kick off 2026. So let's now get into Monday Night Raw quickly. Let's be through Raw, NXT, and Evolve. Where else are you getting Evolve results, Evolve review? Probably nowhere. So anyway, on Monday Night Raw, give me 1 second here. There we are. Okay, so on Monday Night Raw, Gunther came out, gun on the stick, followed by AJ Styles. Becky Lynch is still your Women's Intercontinental Champion. Maxine Dupree then got attacked by Natalya. Jey Uso came out and got on the stick, so Gunther, AJ Styles, decent way to kick off Raw. Becky Lynch retaining, no shocker there, it was in Belfast, but Natalya turning on Maxine was something I didn't see coming. Jey Uso was merely just declaring himself for the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Penta took home the winner's share of the purse as they defeated and beated the Vision. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky came out, spoke. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley did. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, did the same. Brawl. So yeah, cool win for Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Penta here. But that's kind of it. And the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez stuff just hypes up tomorrow night, really. El Grande Americano did take home the W, but by referee stoppage. At Royal Rumble, it will be Indy B, Gunther versus AJ Styles, with the Styles career on the line. Get your predictions in for that one. And then in your main event of the show, CM Punk did retain against Finn Balor, who's still your World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't know if Javon is actually injured, or this was just so no one is looking weak here. Not really sure what happened, but if Javon is injured this early into his main roster stint, his main roster career, then that is just nothing but bad. So we've got a match made for the Rumble, and CM Punk retaining, no shocker there. I give it a sideways thumb. On to NXT, that saw more championship action and kicks it off with Ethan Page retaining against Io Flair. Charlotte Hill sent packing Josh Briggs. The Vanity Project sent to the back of the line Chase U. So Ethan Page retaining, no shocker. Good debut for Io Flair. And Ethan had been a real fighting champion and seems to get better and better and better each time. Charlotte Hill knocking off Josh Briggs, but Josh Briggs just can't get a win, can he? And Vanity Project over Chase U. Okay. Jada Parker came on out, followed by Blake Monroe. Shawn Legacy was on the winning side against Eli Knight. And in women's triple threat tag team action, the team with the win was Zori and Saul Ruka against Ren Sinclair and Fallon Henley and Fatal Influence. So the Jada Parker, Blake Monroe stuff, cool. Shawn Legacy over Eli Knight, okay. And Zori and Saul Ruka, they definitely proved to be tag team of the year, definitely proved to be a cohesive tag team. And obviously they're going to go on to face the Elegance brand for those TNA women's tag team titles. I'm going to give NXT also a thumbs up. Let's get into Evolve quickly. Kendall Gray retained her women's Evolve championship against Wendy Chu. Braxton Cole had a smile on his face after it's all said and done against Marcus Mathers, and Carmen Petrovich scored high against Callie Armstrong in your main event of the evening. We do that again. Your main event of the evening. So Kendall Gray has been a great fighting champion. Braxton Cutter over Marcus Mathers. Okay, it's always cool to see new faces. And Carmen Petrovich, like I said, her biggest win of her career. She's now permanently NXT Evolve. I think this is great. That gives her something else to do. Whereas I think on NXT, she might just be a little bit lost in the shuffle. But I'm going to give Evolve a thumbs up. So I'm going to play one more rad, and I'm going to do a bit of predicting here. Then I'm out of here until tonight's SmackDown Watch Along. So we're doing these very quickly. Play this. That is right. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. I know that ad says every single weekend. I want to change it up, perhaps make another new ad. But it is what it is. You're getting the gist. So let's get those wrestling minds working. Let's get the brain churning, because it is time to do some predicting with this. So I know that says preview, but let's discard that. My preview is now on to my watch along. That is a brand new thing. If you didn't come to watch my TNA Genesis watch along, where were you? But the brand new thing is preview. So I just take 5 minutes or so to preview the card. I'll allow you to get your predictions in. But let's get to tomorrow night's Saturday night's main event. In 1 second, trying to delete that. Here we are. So it will be the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. In fact, let me try and put that up again. There we are. Charlotte, no, not Charlotte. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defend against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. I think the champions retain here. Cody Rhodes will go one-on-one, toe-to-toe, and he's pitted against Jericho Fatu. This should be Jericho Fatu, but I think Cody does win. And then up to now, I presume another match will get made on SmackDown tonight. That match might even be Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. If that is a match made, I think Jade Cargill retains. And this is her first title defense in nearly 3 months. Yeah. I mean, but we'll also see Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest. I think Randy Orton walks out the winner here. So there are my predictions. Really quickly getting yours. So do join me later on via SmackDown Watch It Along. Do like, share, subscribe, and get to the next milestone of 480. Like, share, subscribe right now, and always remember, one second. Always remember that it's Ricky Jing bringing the British bite to the